JMG Live Music Lounge. Ready? Let's go.
JMG Live Music Lounge with Jakari Harris. Hear it first with your favorite music artists and celebs. Interviews and entertainment.
Welcome to the JMG Live Music Lounge. I'm your host, Jakari Harris, and yes, we're back with another great episode. Today, I'm talking to the UK-based dance music duo, Bimbo Jones. You know, these guys had a lot to say and didn't hold back. So turn up the podcast and let's go.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
So my music headline for this week is on Mr. Chris Brown. The Grammy Award winner is bringing the Party Tour to Houston at the Toyota Center on May 4th, and the tour is going to be featuring Fabulous, OT Genesis, and Cap G. Tickets are still on sale. You can visit livenation.com or jmgmags.com for more info. Do you like festivals? How about arts and entertainment? Then you'll definitely enjoy JMG Magazine's Summer Arts and Festivals issue this May. It's an issue featuring the latest in music, fashion, food, and entertainment. For more information, email info@jmgmags.com or call 713-400-1249.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
So for those who aren't familiar with Bimbo Jones, they're a dance group that consists of two guys, Dagger and Marc JB. What's unique about Bimbo Jones is not only that they've been remixing and producing music for over a decade, but the guys have over 70 number one songs between their US and UK releases. Now the guys have remixed for so many artists like Rihanna, Pink, Khalees, and most recently, Miss Britney Spears, Miss Brit. Lee and Mark remixed her latest single, Slumber Party, featuring Tinashe, and the song went number one on Billboard's Dance Club Songs chart. Now, the original version of the song didn't chart too high on Billboard's Hot 100, so I'm sure Britney was happy to get a number one anywhere she could, and she got it on the dance charts. So the interview started with Mark asking me a question that I've heard ever since I was 6 years old. Can you guess what it is?
How do we say your name? Is it Jakari?
Yes, that's exactly it. It's Jakari.
Oh, perfect. Fantastic. That's a really lovely name, I have to say.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So I wanted to start out and, ask you guys a few questions, obviously, about your career and your music. And, you've done so many remixes over the years for so many artists like Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and The Killers.
Yeah.
How do you decide which artists you want to remix, or is it the record company that approaches you about the remixes?
I'll start. It's a bit of both. Sometimes I might hear of something like a new artist like Lady Gaga's got a new single coming out, or Mark might hear of something, and then we tell Alistair, our manager, quick, get on the back of this straight away, get us the parts because we love this artist. And then equally, we've had artists like Pink contact Alistair and say, oh, Pink's got a new ballad coming out, and Kiss FM in London will only play it if they get a Bimbo Jones remix. So vice versa, we can go looking for it, or labels will contact us as well.
We did a remix of Rachel Stevens' Sweet Dreams to My LAX back in the day. And that was, before that, we were just doing UK-based remixes. But this is the first record that was promoted across the Atlantic as well. So we got pretty much simultaneous number one in the UK dance charts and also in the Billboard Hot Dance Play. And that basically opened the floodgates for all of the record companies stateside to send us all their big artists.
That's awesome. And how long have you guys been producing and creating music?
Lee?
I think it's since about late 2000 or the middle of 2000.
Yeah, that's together. We've been, in Bimbo Jones for Wow, 15 years. It's been 15 amazing years. But before that, we've both been producing different types of music since we were born, really. I've been playing piano since I was 4, and I've had a studio since I was 14. So I've basically been writing a song a day. And Lee, I know that you've been prolifically writing lyrics throughout your life as well, and writing tunes.
Yeah, Mark and I both come from different music backgrounds, but we've just been immersed in loads of different sections of music and bits of music over the years, from my granddad getting me into 1940s big band music, and then Mark's got a story about that as well. So it's equal music lovers through the years.
Yeah, Jakari, I come from a very musical family, and my grandfather was called Jack Jackson, and back in the 1930s he had a dance band. So back then he was the Avicii Pete Tong of his time, the Tiesto of his time. Everyone, all the hoi polloi would come out and dance in the ballrooms. And he went on to be the first modern radio DJ. Before him, all the shows were very kind of matter of fact. And then after that, he came and he started cutting up samples from Hancock's first half-hour step turn song. So he basically had the first sample bank in about 1948. And that was made out of bits of 2-inch tape.
That's incredible. So music has just been in your blood then.
It's in all of our blood. Yeah,
Absolutely.
And so Mark, so how did you guys actually meet?
Well, it was actually through a mutual friend called Ben Allen. What's his name, Lee?
Oh God, I've forgotten his name.
Yeah.
It's one of Panos' friends.
Yeah,
Brian.
Yeah, that's it. Brian Allen he's an awesome guy. I was desperately looking for a way through Jakari, because when you're making music and you're working with different artists and lots of different genres, I was sending all of my music off to the record companies. They were going, yeah, it's okay, and then the CD would go at the bottom of the pile, or maybe it'd be put in a bin as soon as I turned and walked out of the room. And I was getting absolutely nowhere. I was so frustrated. Went and lived in Sweden for a couple of months just to get away from it all. I knew that I liked the music, but all the record companies just seemed to be turning me away all the time. So I was suggested by a family friend, Guy Fletcher, who used to be the CEO of PRS, the British Collection Society. He put me in touch with Brian. He put me in touch with Lee. And then a magical thing happened. From going from a position where no one was really listening to my music, all of a sudden me and Lee could sit in the studio during the day. We could make the most phenomenal dance anthem. At night time, Lee would DJ it out in front of 3,500 people, and everyone would go completely and utterly crazy, which is the point that I realised, oh my goodness, the music's actually really good. And it's just the record companies and the various people that I've been contacting at that time that had their kind of inner sanctums and cliques that I couldn't really get into at the time.
So Lee, how would you describe the Bimbo Jones sound?
I think it's a collective of good, feel-good music. I remember in the late 70s, my mum would be playing stuff like Casey and the Sunshine Band, and Mark and I both love Motown. So the early Bimbo Jones stuff was very funk, soul, disco related, but it basically, because house is a progression of disco anyway. So Mark and I love disco. We love anything funky and just making people dance. And rather than going in here and a DJ who just plays really, really deep tech music for 5 hours, where you just, some of the songs are okay, it might be a bit boring. Our philosophy has always been about get people on the dance floor as soon as possible, make them have a good time. And that's kind of layered into our production and songwriting and remixes over the years. Wouldn't you say, Mark?
Absolutely. I think one of our key strengths is that we're both very joyful when we write our music. We really love what we do. We're so passionate about it. Not just about the music in itself, but also the art of doing it. And I think that joy goes into music. And I've definitely heard feedback from DJs that when a Bimbo Jones mix is played in the club, it creates a really uplifting atmosphere.
No, you're right.
Okay, that's great. And so, Mark, now your remix of Britney Spears' Slumber Party with Tinashe recently went number one on the Billboard's Dance Club chart. Did you guys actually get a chance to speak with Britney or meet with Britney, or was that something just coordinated through the record company?
That's been coordinated via the record company. We've met several of the artists, and we've actually worked with some really amazing people through the years. But to be honest, we are so busy in the studio just turning stuff out. We don't need to have a conversation with everybody under the sun in order to realise our music. That was a great remix to get, and we love the Britney song. Lee had someone cut the original video to the Bimbo Jones mix, and it just looks absolutely fabulous. That's up on Vimeo at the moment if you search for Bimbo Jones remix of Britney Spears' Slumber Party. And we're just really pleased the way the mix came out. For us, the mix is a progression building upon that deep house bass sound, but also bringing in the old school piano house sound that is just deeply ingrained and loved in the music industry. And then just with really big, fat Bimbo Jones style drums and our signature funky, uplifting style. We're just delighted that that's gone to number one in the Billboard charts.
Yeah, and it was our 82nd dance number one. And just to go back to what you were asking, Britney didn't speak to us direct, but she was all over social media leading up to the actual release and kept on announcing our remix and when it was coming out. And I've heard from the label that she was a massive fan of our particular remix of that song, which is great news.
Well, that's good, definitely, since it went number one. So I'm sure she's a fan now.
Yeah, really. Well, she was always a fan of Piece of Me, the first song that we remixed for her, which was a really good turning point in our Bimbo Jones remix portfolio, because we were just knocking them out constantly back then, and sometimes doing 8 remixes in 1 week, I think we did. But the Piece of Me one was all over BBC Radio 1. They were constantly playing it during the day, as well as the evening shows from Pete Tong, etc. So yeah, I know Britney knows all about us, and it was quite ironic when I took a Southwest flight about 3 months ago, and it was advertising Britney's new show in Vegas, which is ironically called the Piece of Me Remix Tour, which I did wonder if she might be playing our remix at the show, but we've not been, so we don't know.
Well, see, you might need to take a trip because she may be playing it.
I know. How funny would that be? It'd be awesome.
So, Lee, now, out of all the number ones that you've had on the dance charts, was there one number one song that went number one that you were surprised that it went number one? You're like, I like that remix, but I didn't like it that much. But I'm glad the world liked it.
We've got so many stories, and we're all about sharing them. And there was one song that we remixed of the Cheeky Girls, which are 2 Romanian sisters, if you Google them. And we were asked to do a remix of their take on God, what was the melody? I can't remember.
Hooray, hooray, yeah. It's a happy holiday.
So juicy.
Holiday.
We did such a cool filter disco uplifting house remix, sampling little bits of the vocal, and the record label sent it out, and they just said it was an anonymous white label Bimbo Jones remix. They didn't name the artist, and it got straight in at number one. And as soon as people found out who it was by, then it started dropping again. But that was the power of the music, and it was one of the songs which we didn't think would do well, but it did do well.
Now, Lee, you were recently here in Houston performing at Rich's, and I know you also recently had a show at the Abbey in LA. How would you compare nightclubs in the US with venues in the UK?
They completely vary. I mean, Houston Rich's was amazing. The light show was great. I played lots of our mixes that Mark and I had done, and funny enough, the owner, who's called Jeff, he got me to play Our Soul Survive remix twice because he's a massive fan of that particular remix. And the light show there is amazing. Just like other venues, the Abbey in LA is amazing. I love that venue, especially when I was there at Christmas. They really go to town with their decor. But I've been blessed to play some mad venues like Siberia, Russia, Australia, Sydney, Mardi Gras, loads of different places around the world, not to waffle on, but they do vary, and some clubs are big, some clubs are small, but so long as we have that interaction distributing our music to the fans, that's the most important thing. But yeah, they do vary, and it's great to have that variety, and I just love having that opportunity to play the music that Mark and I write and produce.
That's great. And so, Mark, do y'all have any new releases coming out that we should be looking out for in the coming months?
Oh, we've always got lots of new things coming out. We're doing some records together as Bimbo Jones, also doing some records individually as well. So I've got some things kind of NDA agreements on that, so I can't really discuss them at the moment. But we do have one Bimbo Jones song that is in the pipeline, don't we, Lee?
Yeah, well, there's a few, I don't mind name checking them, that we've done one song with the disco legend Thelma Houston, which she's so excited. I was at her house in LA 2 weeks ago playing her the adjusted vocal that Mark had balanced out because it sounds so good. She's such a great icon and singer.
Her vocal is just absolutely. Her vocal, Chikari, is just incredible on that. The tone, she just all of her technique and all of her being in the disco scene, just the essence of all that in her vocal is it's just so beautiful to listen to. Feel really privileged to be able to work with her on this.
Really. We also have another song that we want to put out that we wrote with another legend. I don't know if I can name her, but that's coming out. And there's also another song that we've written with Cyndi Lauper that we want to put out. There's just so many songs we've written that if you looked at our vault, you would not believe it. And we're constantly churning out stuff. It's just finding a home for everything and timing everything correctly. We've even done a song with Vasti, which we're not sure when we're going to release, but we would love to release it. And like Mark said, we've always got stuff of our own. I've got a song that I've written with a girl called Courtney Harrell, who was on The Voice last year, and I've been playing that in my sets, and people have been going wild to it. So at some point I'm going to release that, and then I've got a couple of other songs that I might put out with my label Tasmania Records that I've been working with. So yeah, watch this space, Mark?
Yeah, and just talking about our vaults, Chikari, I'm actually on the computer in London at the moment and looking through our vaults of remixes. In our remix vault, and considering there's probably a radio, a 12 and a dub, we've actually got 1,846 files there.
Oh wow!
That's in the Bimbo Jones remix folder. In the original tunes, we've got about 500 original tunes there.
So you guys have been producing a lot of music lately, over the years.
We've got enough to fill up a 5-year playlist, I think, Chikari. Yeah. I just remembered we've got Mark and I have been writing with the legend Harry Casey in the Sunshine Band, and so there's another couple of songs coming out. I think the first one to be released is called I Feel You, and it's really, really beautiful song, so watch that as well.
Okay, well, we'll definitely be looking out for it. And so do you guys participate in any type of festivals throughout the year? You know, there's so many different festivals all over the world. Do you guys participate in any big, large outdoor events or festivals?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good. It's just so much fun. Everybody's relaxed. They're on holiday. They're all a little bit tipsy. I wasn't gigging there, but I was at Wilderness last year, which was just lots of left field quirky music there. But I did a DJ gig a couple of years ago at Glastonbury, headlining the Pussy Parlour there, which was brilliant. It was right at the end. Massive Attack had just finished playing, and everybody was streaming back from the Pyramid stage and just filled up this great big circus tent style place. Just went completely crazy. I did a future disco set, which is one of my passions, taking disco and fusing it with electronic beats, house music, taking it forward as a genre.
Yeah, and I've done so many festivals over the year. Forget, from Sydney Mardi Gras, the amount of times I've done that, Glastonbury as well, and festivals in the Czech Republic with Carl Cox, loads of people. And I've got Orange County Pride coming up on the 24th of June, doing the closing party there. And I might be doing a festival in Catalina Island off the coast of Los Angeles, a small island. So yeah, they're all coming in fast and furious. So just watch our diaries.
Okay, great. Well, guys, that wraps it up for me. Is there anything that we didn't discuss that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, maybe the music industry is an amazing place at the moment. Of course, the whole thing about people buying records has disappeared, and now it's all streaming. So the record companies haven't got as much money as they used to, but it's all coming back with the likes of Spotify and streaming. And I know there's a lot of. I was doing a masterclass last week down in Plymouth for a bunch of aspiring producers, and it's a kind of difficult, different scene now as it was back in the day for us. But I think it's always been difficult. So if there are any aspiring producers out there, just do what you want from your heart and be authentic and creative, and ignore all the criticism, because most of it's a load of rubbish.
No, you're right. Thank you for the interview, mate. What I would say is that Mark and I have been doing this for so long, and we completely love it. Everyone has their ups and downs, but we kind of just ignore any negativity if there is any. I just go positively all the time. Let the music do the talking. Let the people enjoy the music, and they can always buy the Bimbo Jones music, Marc JB music, Lee Dagger music online, and they can always connect to us and ask us any questions they want. Equally, like Mark and I have been going to Miami to the music conference for years, and talked on panels, and we've always tried to help people out in the industry and give something back to them.
That's great. And, that was one of the reasons why I reached out to you guys, because I liked the music that I heard, and I knew you guys were some great remixers. So, like you said, it's all about the positivity.
It's all about the positivity.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
This podcast is supported by Jolie Promotions. Need models for an upcoming event? Jolie Promotions is an all-female promotions company that can represent your business or special event with brand ambassadors and promotional models. For more information, visit joliepromotions.com.
JMG Live. Music Lounge.
Thanks for tuning in to the JMG Live Music Lounge. Be sure to follow me, your host, Jakari Harris, on Instagram and Twitter. And be sure to tune in every Friday for the latest episode. I'll see you next week.
Visit jmgmags.com to download the latest episodes of the JMG Live Music Lounge podcast. This portion of the show is sponsored by Avant Media Institute.